Today I'm here with Dr. Dana. She's a collegiate professor at Mountain View at Binghamton University, and I've had the honor of not only being her student, but her intern this year. I'm just going to ask her a couple questions, get a feel for her. Hopefully she lets you guys know how to enjoy the ride. What is your current role here at Binghamton University?
So I am an Italian professor, actually Italian and medieval studies, and then I'm also half-time in res life, which is the position of collegiate professor, which means that I'm in charge of being a sort of liaison between faculty and students, also setting up programming of various kinds, community building, educational programming here in Mountain View.
Yeah, so you have your hands all over the place.
Pretty much.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Have you always had this career pathway within a school setting or in a university?
Pretty much, yeah. I went straight to grad school from undergrad and then, got my job. So I've been in higher education basically since I was 18, I guess you could say. Very passionate about languages and cultures and medieval studies as well. Another deep passion of mine is music.
Of course.
So I was just doing that on the side though. I always thought it would be really fun to sort of combine the two things, but I wasn't sure how. I'm not in the music department, I'm in the Italian department. So being collegiate professor is a really cool opportunity for me to share both of my passions, combine both of my passions and share them with students.
Of course, and having just, the professional aspect of it, and then, the creative, fun side, free-minded, and it's, nothing really holds you down. You're able to have this space to create while also keeping your name, in pristine condition and respected by many. It's awesome.
Yeah, actually, I think that being collegiate professor is the best job on campus, honestly. Because I love being a professor and I love being in res life. It's a fantastic combination of really satisfying things.
So just 2 years ago, I was looking through just the group's Instagram, Facebook, and yours. In October, you guys had live stream concerts going on. In December, there was videos being put out, like your one for WSKG, pre-recorded, but there was also like the live streams where you're just, you mess up and it's right there, you know? I mean, they're right there. It almost is like a live sort of feeling, but not really. The content has not stopped at all. Like, your fans love it. I see it. It's awesome.
Thank you, John. Yeah, well, like everybody, we had to adapt. We had to make a lot of changes, but we definitely didn't stop.
No. And then coming back with your first show at outside of Lehman, that was just like getting the music live. Music was coming back into the world again after a couple of years where, not that it wasn't there, but it wasn't right in front of you, And I just think like that helps students so much just to have familiar faces outside of buildings they know, in communities they know.
Well, it's great for the people who make the music. You're a musician too. There's really nothing like making music, but it's such a beautiful thing to share with the listeners too, and it creates community among everybody, not just the people who are making it.
Binghamton and all, like, together, it's just a really musical, like, college.
I agree.
Like, and it's amazing. Like, in almost every class I've had, music has been integrated some way or another, and it's just amazing.
Very cool.
Moving on to your members, we have amazing people like Curtis Kendrick, you played with, Bob Bricks, and even little visitors like Coco Kitty in your studio once in a while. How do you come across these people?
Coco Kitty loves the music. My husband, who is my bandmate also, and the lead guitar player, Bob Rainone, we have been running open mic, open jams in the community for many years. And so that's honestly where we've met a lot of musicians. It's really fun to run open mics because you get to play with a lot of different people. So that's where we've met. I would say most of our musician friends, although some we've met on campus. So Curtis Kendrick is the dean of the libraries. I actually met him at a meeting with the dean of Harper College, who was introducing him and happened to mention that he was a musician, and I ran up to him after the meeting and said, "So, I hear you're a musician. You want to jam sometime?" And the rest is history.
Some people, they don't realize that music can become a full-time, not even hobby, but maybe even job for them. And sometimes they tuck that in their back pocket or save it for later. Say someone like the dean, him finding out that you had like a musical environment where he could like participate, he must have been ecstatic.
We talk about that often, how we're really happy that I was at that meeting that day and that we connected.
Everything happens for a reason.
For sure.
The Mountain View jams that you started kicking off, you and your husband, and how has that been going so far, and where would you like that to go?
Great question. When my husband and I had the idea to do these jams, we knew that there was so much musical talent on campus.
For sure.
And We had done it a little bit. We started to do it before the pandemic. We did it downstairs in App 111. I think we had like 25 people at one of the jams, and we were like, wow, this is amazing, 25 people.
Yep.
And then, and then we did the first one outside at the beginning of this year. There were, a couple hundred people? More, maybe 300, I don't know. We just always kind of had this vision to tap into the music community that was already here. Like I said before, we love making music with other people. We love listening to other people. So it's just a perfect fit. We kick off each jam with a little mini set of our own, or we play some of our originals and some covers too, and then start bringing people up after that. So it has grown so fast, and it's pretty much exceeded our wildest dreams already, and we haven't even been doing it for a year, so I can't wait to see where it goes. We would ultimately love to have a recording studio in Mountain View. We would love for people to be able to, for bands, because there have been several bands that have formed because of the jams. We'd love to be able to help them record their albums right here in Mountain View, maybe do podcasts, have a whole multimedia thing.
Yes, of course.
Going.
Yes. Yeah. From a student's point of view, living in a building right across from the dining hall where most of these events take place, it's especially in the beginning of the year, I wasn't really familiar with these jams and what was going on. So being in my room and just hearing literal vibrations coming through the walls, your mood increasing, and then you look out the window and you see what's happening, and there's people gathered, and there's a band, and there's a few bands, and you know what I'm saying? And it's just, it sparks kids' interest, and App being right at the center of Mountain View, I feel like makes this like 10 times more convenient, and like, you're right, the growth has been exponential. I cannot believe how fast it's grown. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And, you're right, the venue is
it's
perfect. My husband and I actually had the idea a long time ago. I think it was back in 2014.
Wow.
There was an event up here, and we were asked to play it. I can't even remember what the event was, but they wanted music, and one of my students was involved and knew that my husband and I performed. And so we came up here and we performed, and we got up here and looked out the windows, and you can see like the whole, valley, all of Binghamton, and beyond Vestal. I took our breath away. What a great venue this is, and how inspiring it was to play music up here. So we thought, wouldn't it be amazing if we could do an open mic up here with the students?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Following these library performances, or these live performances, one's outside, one's an app, and with your great team behind you, I see nothing but success in your future, and not with only your own band, but with Mountain View James as well in Appalachian and the students to come. I've seen artists spawn out of nowhere, like out of thin air. Today I just ran into one of your former students, Yoni. He was like, I'm hoping to perform tonight, come to the open mic. And I asked him, I was like, who you bringing? He goes, I don't know yet. and that's part of this that I just love. There's no rules. Besides the fact that you have to come with something to show and share, it's really just love.
It's just been so incredibly gratifying to see the growth too, really, as you put it. People just get better and better every time
it's
they
crazy.
perform.
It's insane. And
sometimes right before your very eyes. I remember at one of the early jams, there was a kid who was playing guitar, and he was sort of nervous that he was like standing behind the other people who were performing, and he had his guitar turned way down. You couldn't really even hear him. And then as the song went on, he was kind of like stepping out a little bit, turning his guitar up a little bit, and by the end he was like, out there and rocking out, and he was so good. He was phenomenal. But the thing that just like warmed my heart so much was seeing his confidence growing, right before my very eyes. And if he hadn't had that opportunity, he wouldn't have been able to have that growth in that particular way. And I felt like, this is something that he could take with him in everything that he does, not just music,
100%.
but that he'll have more confidence when he goes and does an oral report or a presentation of some sort. So it's really an honor to be a part of students' journeys and see them grow.
Yeah, no, it really is just being the soil that like these new artists come out of and grow. It's just it's amazing to watch them blossom. Really, just change the campus. Like, for example, Moat is one of the bands on here. One of my friends, the drummer for that band. And just seeing the following on their social media pages and kids coming out to their shows, even like in underground concerts. And again, these are kids my age, right? These are freshmen, and it's amazing. Your son's been around music his whole life. Where do you think that started? And like, when did you see him, moving into that like world of music and art?
So Ben, my 11-year-old, he He's just always known music. We have our music studio in our basement, and so from the time he was a toddler, he would toddle down there, and he was so into the drums. We actually had to get him an electric kit because it was so loud for his little ears. So we're like, let's get him an electric kit so he can play and not blow out his ears. He loved coming to the jams, and it was his idea actually to set up a candy casino, so that
which has been a hit.
Yeah,
which has been a huge hit.
Exactly. So while we are performing, he's at a table in the back with a casino cloth and chips and teaching everybody how to play blackjack. And
he has a packed table almost the whole night. It's crazy.
He really does.
Yeah,
and
they love it.
He's very good at teaching it if you don't know how. But yeah, that's been really so much fun to be able to involve him.
I feel like family is one of the biggest impacts on a musician's life, whether that be positive or negative. And for me, being the son of a band director, I of course have had that ability to learn, but I've also had that pressure. And how has your family influenced like your musical creativity and or goals?
That's nice, actually. So my dad played guitar, and when I was a little girl, I used to just love to sit and listen to my dad play guitar. And so I actually started guitar lessons when I was just 8 years old, and I was totally inspired by him. And I wanted to play like him and with him, and I did. My family has been super supportive.
That's amazing.
They love it. They think it's great.
That's amazing.
They're really sweet. They're my biggest fans. Unfortunately, they live across the country in California, but they're my biggest fans from afar.
Exactly. No, exactly. And they always will be. Many people I look up to, I ask them this question. Is there a door that you may have passed and it closed before you were able to go in?
You know, that's really interesting that you say that. It's sort of a more general thing, and that is that it never occurred to me actually when I was younger to be in a band.
Really?
It never occurred to me to be in a band. It never occurred to me to learn how to play leads on guitar. I don't know if it's a gender thing, if all of the guitar players that I knew that were soloists were men, were guys. They were.
It could be.
When I was a kid, you know.
And I don't media know portraying males as the ideal.
It just honestly never even occurred to me, and I'm not the type of person who would let gender stop me from anything. It just literally never occurred to me. So I'm sort of sorry that it didn't occur to me and that I didn't get into it sooner. And it was really when I met my husband, and he was in bands, and he's the one who got me into it. There's something so special about playing with other people.
Oh my God.
Right? This magic can happen, and it's like this
bouncing off of one another.
Yeah, and it's
amazing.
like a kind of a soul connection as well as a music connection when you're playing with other people.
Having multiple sounds coming into one, like you said, must have been an opportunity that you may have not gotten into when you wanted to, but now having the environment, and not only but creating the environment. On the contrary, what is one opportunity that you are beyond grateful that you took?
Oh, being collegiate professor, 100%.
Yes.
Honestly, I was actually department chair when this opportunity came up, and I had to step down in the middle of my second term as chair. I had always had in the back of my mind to do it. I really wrestled with it. And I thought, will I miss being chair? But no.
You haven't looked back.
I haven't looked back 1 second. I love this so much. It's by far my favorite thing that I've ever done in my whole career.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for everything that you do for Binghamton and Mountain View, and I mean individually. Coming into this campus, I was not sure the direction I wanted to go, being a psych, or the intent of a psych major with a background of music of 10 plus years. I was hesitant to throw that all away and just enter the workforce. Like, I just found such inspiration in you, not only making music like part of your career, but like integrating it into my future career, which is amazing, and I'm so grateful for that. So
I'm so glad to hear that, John. Yeah, that's exactly what we had in mind. We're great musicians who are really passionate about it, but they're not planning on making it their career, but they don't want to give it up. And so we're really happy to be able to provide these opportunities, and like the internship opportunities to give people actual work experience. And the class that we do, the Univ 101 class. I'm really glad you took the class.
No,
so
me too.
That
Trust me.
That you wanted to do the internship too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
All right, there we go. Boom.
Great.
Well done.
Oh my gosh, you were the best interviewer.
Thank you.
Ever.
Thank you.
You so put me at ease.
Oh, good. Awesome.